So there is a ton of stuff going on in the real estate world right now. There's a DOJ suit for commissions, but probably the biggest thing right now, we're waiting for that DOJ thing to come down, and I definitely want to get into that here in the next week or so. But right now, what I like talked about is the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, fining Opendoor, which is an iBuyer, $62 million for not being forthcoming on their practices, basically. So some people may be familiar with Opendoor, iBuyers. iBuyers is like an institutional buyer, so think hedge fund investors. When inflation starts to rise, hedge funds start to buy houses to curb inflation, so their money's making more, it's better for them. Opendoor has been working on the premise that they are saving consumers money by the seller selling directly to Opendoor. If you're in the real estate world, whether you're a broker, an agent, investor, whatever, quite honestly, sorry mom, but you know that's bullshit. Opendoor doesn't save you money, and that's why they're getting fined $62 million. Opendoor does on the premise, like I said, that they're saving you money in fees, commissions, all this kind of stuff. But they're telling you that they're paying you fair market value. Same thing a lot of these institutional buyers do. I could name them, but that's not what we're here for. Opendoor has basically been offering what they're calling fair market value, which has been found out that it's not fair market value. It's under fair market value. And then not only that, but when you do the fees side by side, and again, realtors, brokers, we know this is something that we've been trying to explain to our sellers for the past couple years, definitely in the past few months for sure, as Opendoor and some of these other places become bigger and bigger. But side by side, like our fees in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio is where I'm at. Your cost of sale is 8 to 10%. That's including your commissions to the realtors. That's 6%, 3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the seller's agent. That's transfer taxes. That's county taxes. That's tax proration in Ohio. We're one of the only states left that pays taxes in arrears. What that means is we pay last year's taxes this year, so at closing you give a credit, which that makes up a big bulk of the other percentage of the 8 to 10%. But when you look at Opendoor, I've seen these fees, if you really look at it, upwards of 16 to 20%. So you're telling the consumer that you're giving them fair market value, which I've already told you that's not true. And then they're saying that they're also cheaper. There's not as many fees, but when you look at the fee sheets, it's just not true. And then put on top of that once they get you in contract, they're asking for repairs, where in the market we've been in for the last, 2.5, 3 years maybe, you're basically buying a house as is. You can sometimes get an inspection. All of our clients, we recommend you get an inspection. This is off topic, but I will bet you here in the next year to 5 years, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits for agents that allowed their buyers to waive inspections completely and just buy the house. We've always told our agents that if you're going to do that, you need to have some sort of addendum or document signed saying, I recommend you get an inspection. And if they say no, then at least you have it documented that you told them they should. But Opendoor's getting their inspections. They're coming back and saying, we want this repaired. There's a very prevalent one here in Columbus, another iBuyer that does that. They get it in contract. They're very hard to communicate with. They send their inspector through, and you will get a huge list of repairs they want done, or they'll ask you for, anywhere from $1,000 to a $10,000 to a $15,000 price reduction. Now, explain to me how I'm getting under market value, I'm getting more fees than a traditional sale would give me, and then I'm having to reduce my my sale price by $1,000 to $15,000 to $20,000. How that's a better deal for you as the consumer? It's not. Opendoor and other places like this are in the business of buying under market value, getting anything they can, and you're not now represented. You're a seller selling directly to an iBuyer, so you don't have an agent telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Some cases you do. But most likely you don't. You've been trained to think this is just kind of the easy, quick way of doing things, and you're going to pay for it. You're going to lose. I mean, it could be anywhere from, depending on the price of the house, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 by selling directly to an iBuyer. And don't get me wrong, somebody might fact check me. My numbers might be incorrect. I don't have it sitting here in front of me. I don't have a fee sheet sitting here in front of me. I'm talking in generalizations. So if you're going to come at me because I don't have the exact numbers, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm giving you an overall 1,000-foot view of it, 10,000-foot view of it. So basically, the FTC looked into it. I think there was enough complaints. Opendoor was now fined $62 million. To a company like that, it may or may not be a big deal. To me, if my company got fined $62 million, you'd never see me again because I wouldn't be able to pay it. But that's how serious this was, $62 million. And from the reports that I've seen, some of these iBuyers are hemorrhaging money because of how they've done it. Zillow actually got out of the iBuying game. They lost so much money. They were buying, from what I remember reading, I think they were giving pretty fair offers and then trying to recycle and put them back on the market for more. But a lot of them sat because they were expecting the market to just keep going. The appreciation we've had over the last few years that's just not feasible. But this is about that FTC fine. And honestly, guys, if you think selling to an iBuyer, in some cases it is the right move. But if you think selling to the iBuyer is your right move or your best move, please, 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 even if you're in Columbus, if you don't call me or one of my agents, please call an agent. Whether you have them represent you or whether you have them just go over fee sheets. When we work with title companies, they can give us fee sheets of what you're going to clear, and you can then compare that to a local title company using a local real estate agent to what the iBuyer is going to give you, in this case, Opendoor. And you're going to see anywhere from, it might be even, but you could see even 10% more costs and fees. And that right there is exactly why they've got fined $62 million, because they aren't being upfront and honest. And that's what the Trade Commission's there for, to make sure that we're not duping our clients, our consumers, into something that's not good for them. Realtors have a fiduciary duty to take care of their clients, put their clients' interests before their own. Here at TSG, that's a huge thing that we talk to and teach our realtors to do is, if you're worried about the money, you're in the wrong business, because it's not about the money. If you do the right thing, the money will come. So if you have anything like this, if you have an iBuyer, if you have a wholesaler, and I do wholesaling as well, but we're very upfront with everything that we talk about. But if you have these kind of situations, please reach out to whoever you know that's a realtor and ask for that fee sheet from that title company that they work with or the title company of your choosing, and just understand the difference between these two things. Because there is a reason that the Trade Commission looked into this, and there is an even bigger reason that the Trade Commission came down with this huge fine. I don't remember where the link is, but if you comment on this, let me know, and we'll post the link for you so you guys can read it for yourself. It's a huge problem, but just talk to your realtors, talk to your brokers, talk to somebody that you know you can trust who has a fiduciary interest for you. Your best interests come before their own. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And like I said, here in the next week or so, I'll kind of go into this DOJ stuff a little bit. I was actually just talking to a client about it last night when I was on a listing appointment. That one's very, very interesting because I think, and we're bleeding into something different, I get it, but the DOJ stuff, the thought behind it I think is the right, but I think there's so many unintended consequences that I kind of want to talk about and get your guys' opinion on. So please follow, subscribe, everything, and we'll see you next time.